Hey guys, how are you? Hey friend. Um, bonus. I actually had time tonight and I did it at 7:30. I didn't think that was too late and I didn't think it was too early. So hopefully you can tune in and chill with me. I did read through at least a little better. The instructions, not great, but a little better on the instructions for some of this. So today is going to be day 2, and I'm going to show you really quickly before I turn it down. Here is what our finished piece is supposed to look like, or something like that. So this is what I'm going for, our goal piece. And that's what I've got sitting over here is with my instructions. Oh, let me pull that back closer. Okay. And I've got some practice sheets over here so that if I want to practice on those, I can. Now I'm going to switch camera views real quick. There we go. And I did my background already because I did it last night really well. And I'm pretty sure you guys all, if you tuned in yesterday, you saw it. If you did not, I will talk you through it. I used a sponge, just a regular sponge, and it's dripping wet right now in the water already. So I can't show you sponge. But it was a regular sponge. And I just did a circular pattern. I got my coffee latte. That's it. Yeah. My coffee latte. And I actually, this time I did a little bit of the wicker white in it. I just put a splash. I mean, literally it was a strip that shot out as I was opening it and kind of, I'd shaken it. And then as I went to pop it to make it go down, it was like, whoa, there was a lot came out. So here is a practice sheet. If you order, you can order practice sheets from the onestroke.com to learn how to do some of this yourself if you want. This is my practice sheet, so I'm going to kind of just tap it around. Apparently, you are supposed to start at like 3 o'clock here and kind of tap it around. You're still doing a donut. I really don't think it's going to kill you if you go the other direction like I did yesterday. I think it's just a matter of learning to do it the right way. Actually, you were supposed to load 2/3 brown. I only did 1/3 brown and 2/3 black yesterday. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to load it the other way. And since I'm in my smaller journal today, this is a mixed media, but it is a 5.5 by 8.5 journal. The paper's heavier, but because I wanted to kind of do these where I can hang on to them, I wanted to do it in my mixed media journal. I've been doing them in my other journal, my art journaling journal, and I think that it's going to end up with a lot of folded, wrinkled pages if I'm not really careful. Okay, so I've got it loaded. I don't know if you can tell the colors. Right now it looks about half and half. Like the last pounced got more black on that side than. Okay. When it focuses, and it will. Okay, we've got black here on this end, and we've got brown down at that end. The burnt umber is at that end. There we go. Now that looks a little bit better. Okay, see, we've got the black at this end and the burnt umber at that end. We're going to leave the burnt umber end up at the top. Think of this as the centers of our sunflowers as donuts. We're going to have donuts. We're going to have dark chocolate or a chocolate donut with a light chocolate icing on it, okay? So, because I'm going to have 3 sunflowers in this, a bigger, and a smaller flip down, I'm kind of thinking in here. Now, let me make sure I got my black down. And we're going to kind of do a circle. You can come from the left and come around, or you can go to the right. I'm going to start at my left, and I'm going to kind of pounce. And you definitely want to pounce it. I'm going to get a little bit more brown on there because I do not have enough to finish. Okay, now if you look closely, let's see if it'll focus and let us see it in the right light. Okay, that light's not good at showing us what we need to. Let me see if I switch cameras. See, that's a problem with not using my other system. I can't just switch to the other camera real easy. Okay. If you look carefully, when you look, you can see that there's lighter brown on the top and a darker color at the bottom. That just looks shiny in that picture. Sorry. But it's doing all right, I think. We'll get there. Okay, so we've got that one done. And I'm going to set this brush over here to the side for a minute. Whoops. I got to move my mic so I don't hit it with the brush pulling it in and out, because that how's that? Is that better? Can you hear me now? It says it looked like my mic was unplugged, and I think it was briefly. So it muted me. I'm sorry. Here's Yellow Moon. Here's Yellow Ochre. And I'm keeping it where I can get to the white. And I'm going to get, because this is a smaller brush, you put the darker color on. And see, I've got it at least 2/3 of the way up the bristles there. And then I'm going to grab my Yellow Moon, my Moon Yellow, and I'm going to put it on this side here. Get it on there. And I'm going to dip it into the edge of the white. And then we're going to come over here, and we want some streakage to come from the edge of this. We don't want loads of streakage, but we do want a little streakage. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to put it at the edge. Let me move that before I send everything flying into my lap. And I was fixing to. So I'm going to put this here. We're going to stand it straight up. Straight up, and we're going to kind of push and pull. And push and pull. I'm going to get a little more of that yellow, brighter yellow on the corner. Kind of tap it in the edge of the white. We're going to come here, and we're going to set it down and gently pull. And we're going to twist as we're pulling, because we want it to give it some of that. There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to make more petals, but not necessarily overly long ones. See how we've got some of that color streaking in there? So I'm going to come back over here and grab the lighter color. See, I've still got plenty of that Yellow Ochre where we loaded it, but I've got a little bit of the Yellow Moon and the white on that corner over there. We're going to start here. We're going to gently push down, pull, and twist up. And that gives us a little, thank you, Susan. I love them too. I'm working on getting it down so I can teach others quickly and easily and a little more proficiently how to get a pretty, pretty, pretty one. I can do a sunflower okay. And I've learned to do several of them, but I'm trying to learn the one-stroke ones. Now, if we wanted to practice them over here, what you'd do is you'd set it down on the practice sheet. Again, you're going to load it again. You're going to start right in here. You're going to push and then twist. We're going to push and we're going to twist. And they would be using a larger brush than I'm using. So I might even need to pull mine a little bit closer together. Like that. So that's how we would do it on that practice sheet so that you could then see how did your sunflowers turn out. Which I love using the practice sheets. Love, love, love it. But I'm trying to learn on this, trying to get it on this one. But see, you can see here on this practice sheet, they've got several different petals coming from every different direction. So you can practice that so that you can then get over here and have a large, full sunflower. Stealing your practice sheet idea. Well, this is not my practice sheet idea, actually. This is a one stroke from Donna Dewberry. This is an actual one stroke kit that I'm getting ready to test for my certification. But she gives you, these are plastic sleeves. You can buy them from, I think she gets hers from Uline because I think that's the name on here. But I've seen people, I've found them several different places where you can just buy it and then you stick the paper in there that you want them to practice on. You have them practice it 2 or 3 times or more as you need. Or this could be a kit that you sent home if you wanted them to get complicated. And this is the other flower, the pansies that are going to be on this painting. So we've got pansies here and you just practice. And you don't, what I like to do is use a different color than what I'm supposed to be using here so that I can see, am I lining up like I'm supposed to? I'm doing this in a smaller journal page today than I was supposed to be doing. But you're stealing from me. Okay, will work. That'll work. But I have really found them to be helpful if I'm trying to learn the shape of a flower. Okay, I'm going to get some more yellow on here. But I have really found that if you're doing a flower and you want it to be a little more, I don't want to say fancy, but a little more realistic. A lot of times when I'm painting flowers, I'm not necessarily, I'm doing more whimsical flowers. Well, I can't make my whimsical roses look pretty. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to learn how to do a not so whimsical rose so that my whimsical roses, my same 2 or 3 strokes that should be taking me to a whimsical rose can look more like a, okay, that one's just getting fat and ugly over there. So let me get this pointed a little bit better again. And I think I'm dragging them out too far. There we go. There we go. Now they're coming back together. But you want, the key on this one is if you want the streaks in your sunflower so it adds some natural shading there. If you see how these look right in here where they've got some shading and then mine are getting some darker streaks in there, is you want to do the center of the sunflower and then pull these strokes out while it's still wet, so you can do like this and get a little bit of the that color in there from and then you take your scruffy brush and you pounce them again and you get plenty of brown on that at one side and a little bit of black on this side. And then you come back over it with the light brown on the top, with your brown on the top, your burnt umber. And you come back over what you did before. You want to start probably at about 3 o'clock and then come around this way or start at like 9 o'clock and come around that way and come up. And I did it twice because I've got a smaller scruffy. I don't have a mid-size one. I need to figure out how to order a mid-size one. She's got several sizes. But to make a nice little donut there with them, and then you cover that up. Whoop. That one went all the way through there. All right. So I think right now I've got enough on there that in the right light, yeah, I can see it. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is black. And then a minute ago, I could tell that this was brown. This right here was the lighter shade. It's really subtle, and the lights in the studio are making it very hard to see the difference and the texture of it too, because the texture is kind of cool when you use that scruffy brush. But this right here is light brown, and this up here is the lighter brown. But this right here in the center and this down here are the darker brown, the black. Let me make sure I've got plenty of brown and a little bit of black, and I'm going to hit that edge just a little bit. Whoop! Of course, that's gonna. There we go. I'm just going to kick it over there a little bit further for now. Okay, so we're doing round 2 for the sunflowers. We've got a second sunflower we need to do. Can we get it to sit over here? Yes, I can. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to grab more of the brown, the burnt umber, and I'm going to grab some black. We need 2/3 of the burnt umber to the black, to 1/3 black. Then we're going to come over here because we have kind of a bigger one here. I'm going to kind of, like I said, because my brush is smaller, I'm going to come in here. Now, what you could do for some highlights when you get done is take this brush where you haven't wiped it off yet and add just a little of this yellow ochre, that darker yellow in there, and hit the tops of the brown to add just a little bit of more highlight and contrast. You're not going to do loads, but you can definitely see where that's hitting on top of the brown now, because you can see there's a patch and a patch and a patch where it was fresh, where it's really a little bit more. I'm trying to grab it without getting it too much in there because I don't want it to mess my petals up where I was pulling through. All right, so it's got a little bit of highlighting in there. All right, so I'm going to swap these out really fast, and I'm going to eat my petals. Again, I'm going to load my because this is a smaller one, I'm going to load it. Get the paint at least 2/3 of the way off the brush with our darker color, which is our ochre, or yellow ochre. And then we're going to grab some moon yellow on the corner. I'm going to tap it into the white. So we've got a little bit, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to start trying to pull some of these leaves. We're just going to kind of pull what we can. There we go. And I'm not sure if I'm worried about how much white or not white is in these. Don't think I'm worried about how much white gets in there. I'm having a hard time getting the white to sit on the ends of mine and not just sit there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to come over here and we're going to do it again. We're going to kind of push and pull. Push and twist as we're coming back up. Push and twist as we come up. going to push and twist. Grab a little yellow, try and grab a little white, push and twist, push and twist. Whoops, didn't twist. That one's going to be kind of rough looking. I'm going to stop and rework my brush a little bit and get some of these colors back in here on the highlight. And then we're going to kind of push and twist, push and twist, push and twist, push and twist, push and twist. Need to load a little more yellow ochre in here and get my background cut again. Get it smoother. Whoops. Almost forgetting that other yellow. Kind of push and twist. There we go. All right, now I'm going to set this brush over here for a second. And I'm going to come back and grab my pouncer. And I'm going to put brown and black on it again. We're going to get the 2/3 burnt umber and 1/3 black. And we're going to come back across here where we had done it before. I'm going to get a little bit more brown on here and come back across here. Try not to go back over the top after you've got the bottom ready. Try to do the top first and then come back to the bottom so that it looks smoother, because if you come back up here, depending on what size the scruffy is, you're going to cover all over the bottom of that one. But then you can take your yellow ochre and hit a few highlights in there. All right, so now I'm going to try and do this one that's like looks like this is the sunflower bud. It's quite full and the petals aren't pushed up yet. So we're going to get our burnt umber and our licorice. And we're going to kind of try to do us a little ball in here. I think that looks perfect for the size compared to the others. Now it says to grab some yellow ochre, and we're going to try definitely doing a layer on there that's kind of obvious in here, because it's much younger and a little more immature. So we're going to kind of put some of that in there. And by scruffing it in with the brush, still having the black and the brown in it, you can see there's yellow, but there's a lot of the brown and the black on top of it, or under it really well. So now we're going to set this to the side because we may need it in a minute. We're going to get our yellow. I'm going to kind of push some of that out of the out down to the working part. I'm going to get it reloaded for our petals. Sorry, my brain was not thinking of the word petal right then. Huh. Okay. Now let's grab the yellow and a touch of white. I had to put out a little bit more. So we're going to try and pull them down. If you look right here, this is kind of what we're aiming for. We're going to try and pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so but flower petals down and around. And you could probably add a few extras here, depending on, so that they layer toward the back. So let's go. And I'm going to put the white on the same side I did all the way around on the others. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get some more. I'm going to try and sharpen this flat edge. Working it back into the brush is trying to keep my edge, my chisel edge there nice and sharp. And then now we can kind of come over and we'll do like, whoops, I did that one backwards. So. Okay. I think this one's got a little more yellow in it. So we're going to grab and pull. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to get a paper towel and I'm going to smooth this out and kind of pinch it down. There's too much paint up and toward the hosel and it is just messing me up. All right, so I'm going to grab a little of that yellow, some of that yellow. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the white on the edge of that. And now we are going to I think these are too long, and I think that's why I'm disappointed with them. I think they look like they're too long for what I've got. So let's take our black and burnt umber, and let's go back over this and make it just a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm not real thrilled with this one. We'll be practicing it again. In fact, why don't I stop and we'll practice it now. Okay. Kind of need to do it down here too so we can have it too. Take the yellow ochre and scruffy on it around there. Then I'm going to set that here. I'm going to get my brush loaded. And there we go. Now, we have about 3 in the back. Then we come back, hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the top of those. So we would probably need to be doing these first. And then come over and do 1. Yeah. Okay, that looks much better. I almost think I need to clean this brush off and just start all over, reload it and everything. All right. So let's grab the wipe and clean all of that off. And I'll get my towel and dry it all off. And that's the fun of these. This is just practice, and I'm not liking how that one's turning out. So what I can do is turn it into another round one. Just make this a page of practicing the big round ones, right? And then go and do the other another time, another page, or do it in the bottom corner. There we go. There we go. Now see, to me, oops, hang on, I gotta clean that up. Boy, I'm messy. That's okay, I like messy. Kind of messy, and I'm not gonna complain about it. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back and scruffy in the rest of this again. You know what's neat is if you really wanted, we can take this right here. We can grab us a little yellow here, and we can kind of do us a one twisting up from the side there. We could do where there's little sunflower stems coming in there. Okay, so let's try down here, maybe. Okay, I got to turn it back over the other way. Let's get loads of brown at that end and a little bit of black at this end. Okay, so we have that one brushed. Maybe a little more of this so we can get to it. Actually, that's the wrong one. This is the one I need. A little more of the yellow moon. Or moon yellow, whichever it is. It's moon yellow, not yellow moon. Sorry. All right. Gonna load the yellow ochre. We're gonna get some moon yellow and a little bit of white. And now remember, we're gonna try and do these 3 strokes in the back first. So push fat to thin. Reload. Or get a little more paint on there. You want a little more of the yellow and the white in there. I'm going to push it fat to thin, wider to thinner, and wider to thinner. Now we're going to do our 5 strokes over the top, right? 1, 2, 3, 'kay, that one got too fat, too wide. So I'm going to restroke the back one. I'm going to restroke the one on top of it. I'm going to come over here and restroke this one. And we're going to come grab. We're going to do that one. Which maybe needs just a little. There we go. Let me come over here. I'm still getting too big. I don't know what I'm doing that I'm. Okay, there we go. I'm lifting up too late. So, if we practice these, we get better at them. And then you're going to get some of that yellow ochre over there and kind of tap it in at on the top of it. So, there's some sunflowers for today. I like our sheet. A lot. Okay, let's see. Let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Getting there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. As we're getting going on them. Whoop. So you can see when I pull this out how the strokes look. And they look pretty close. So we're doing it right. So I'm going to flip this inside out, or right side out, and I'm going to wipe these off. Yeah, I think that is enough for the online practice tonight. I just wanted everybody to see that some of this just doesn't come super fast, super easy. Some of it takes a lot more practice on some of these. I did pages and pages for my iris, and I didn't even have a practice sheet, or I'd probably practiced on it 12 times when I did it last year. But I think these are coming along. I'm just going to kind of work on filling the rest of the page, I think, like as I get going. So thank you for tuning in. Hang on, let me change the camera again. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed them. If you have any other questions about it, or any questions about what I did tonight, just leave them in the comments, and I'll answer them when I see it. Thank you for joining me, and you have a great night. I'll see you definitely tomorrow. See, I told everybody last night I wouldn't be on again live until Wednesday, so I will be back tomorrow for sure. I'm probably not sure what time. I'm going to try for the 8 o'clock, but if I can get on at 4 in the afternoon, that might be easier on me. We'll see what I'm doing. I've got some plans I got to get planted too, so that may take a while. Anyway, looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.